everyone, it's Zephyr T, and I wanted to thank you again for supporting ShavonRebelio.com. Beautiful hair and skincare naturally, and I wanted to take the time out. I'm going to be doing like a series, so it'll be probably 5 minutes each because I know, you have so much time. But anyway, I'm going to start out with 7 ways to slash stress. It's one of the things I talked about on my Blog Talk show this morning. You can start your day off with meditation. So that's if you pray or if there's something that your higher power, you can start out with that in the morning to kind of center yourself. And then you can manage your mood with herbs and diet, which I've also talked about on my show. Eating is everything. You can self-medicate through eating. I'm not a doctor. I am a cosmetologist. And, there's a lot that goes into what you eat. And it does have a direct effect on how you feel and how healthy you are. So if you eat sugar all the time, you are at a higher risk for cancer. So that's number one. So that's what got me away from sugar. I do have like brown sugar every now and then, like if I make because I cook a lot. So if I make like a peach cobbler, blueberry cobbler, but most of it is the natural berries. The sweetness in the natural berries. I don't put a lot. But honestly, if the fruit is sweet enough, I don't even put any in there. So, but your taste buds do change. Okay, so the third would be suppressing stress with positive thinking, and that so works. But you do have to get into the habit of doing it all the time. It's not something, especially if you've been around a very negative environment for a long time. You're gonna have. It's kind of like riding a bike. First couple of times you might stumble a little bit, fall, or but you got to get right back up and get back on the bike. But it does work, and then eventually you start to see things change, and some of your relationships will change because the people around you, if they were negative, you're going to have to separate yourself, and it's not even going to be something that you're going to be consciously aware of. I think sometimes people start to feel like you might feel that you're better than them, but it's not like that because really what it is that I experienced that for myself. I don't look down on anybody or anything like that because I feel like you never know anybody's story. You never know what type of situation you're going to be in. And, it's wrong in general just to feel that one is better than the other. But sometimes people will view you that way because they see something different about you that they didn't notice before, and they don't know how to classify it. And because you're not participating in that same type of conversation, whether it was, gossiping or whatever, and I'm just using that as an example, then people start to say, oh, what's wrong with them, and so it could be something as simple as you not participating in the gossip, but somebody saying something and you're around it, and they're just used to your presence. And because once you start to get more positive about what you're doing in life, you don't really want to be around that stuff at all because it's really counterproductive. So, but at the end of the day, it's really about the people and how they feel about themselves. Because if they're comfortable with themselves, they're not going to be trying to make you be like them. So there. So also, get stress out of your head and on paper. That's another thing I talked about on the show. If you are, it's very cathartic to write. If you like to do videos, that's a good way to do it. And if you have somebody that you can talk to, is always good. But I have to say, my personal experience, and a lot of other people, especially the older you get, I have a lot of older friends, so they always tell me like, nobody really wants to hear, what's going on. And sometimes it's good to have somebody that you can talk to. But a lot of times, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out here who are very, very selfish. And it's hard to kind of find people who are actually interested in your well-being and the fact that they're going to actually listen to what you have to say. So the best alternative for that is to be able to write things down. And honestly, it's better because you just never know if a person is going to keep all that to themselves, depending on what it is. We all need help. We all need prayer. But it's a way in which you can say, you know what, I need to pray for XYZ. Do you mind praying with me? And you feel comfortable with that person. That's much more positive and much more I guess, proactive than sitting down rehashing everything that happened. You know, sometimes I talk about some of my personal experiences, but it's only to help others, and I'm not. I really don't like to talk about it too much because I don't like getting stuck in that time. You know, it's like kind of like traveling back in time, and I don't like to do that. But if it's gonna help somebody, you know, because I've overcome some things, and you know, you can too. So that's another way of releasing the stress, and making sure that you're not holding on to things, because you don't want to just release the stress and then go back to it. You want to like leave it there. Number five, unblock tension with exercise. That so works. Especially now, if you're not an exercise person, like you don't like weights and stuff like that, and you kind of like to do different things, yoga is a really good way to get exercise. You can meditate all at the same time. It's like multitasking. It's really, really great. And then also, you can retreat to avoid burnout. That is also a great way to kind of like calm down and get away from all the madness. And then also connecting with nature. If you are actually saying, okay, I don't know really what I want to do, but I just want to take a walk outside, that is also awesome. So go to ShavonMavelio.com. I have my blog up. You can find me on Nefertiti Soul on YouTube, and Twitter. And I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. And stay tuned for the next part because it's coming up shortly.